is a news show.
Sup, nation? Welcome to the Wednesday show. Of course, my name's Philip DeFranco, and this show is really just me talking about news at top stuff and things that matter to me today. And nation, the first thing I want to talk about today is the documentary Bullied. It might sound familiar because I featured the trailer about a week ago, and it is a documentary where they follow these 5 kids who are picked on in different ways and how those families fight back. Myself and many other bloggers who featured the trailer agreed on one thing. Parents and children should both see this movie because it is a serious problem. But the reason I'm talking about it today is that the MPAA and NATO, no, not that NATO, the National Association of Theater Owners, decided that this has an R rating. And that is a ginormous bag of suck. Half the reason this movie is even a thing is so middle schoolers and high schoolers can see like, oh, this is a thing and it's a huge problem. So then Harvey Weinstein and his company said, oh, R rating, you're douchebags. I'm just not even going to go through the rating system. This movie is going to be unrated. To which the MPAA and NATO were like, yeah, whatever you say. We're going to slap it with an NC-17 anyway. If you're not familiar, NC-17 is worse than R because with R you can watch it with a parent or guardian, but NC-17, it doesn't matter. No, you're not 18 or older, you wait your damn turn. And it's crazy to think that there's this big of a fight, especially right after there was a school shooting in Ohio. 3 kids are dead from a shooter that was described as a loner who was bullied. I think that's insane, and luckily, I'm not alone. A Michigan high school student started a petition to get the rating lowered down to a PG-13 so middle schoolers and people up from that age can watch it. So if you want to also add your signature to that list, link down below. I personally did it because I wanted to do at least one thing that mattered today, so maybe join in. And nation, the next thing I want to talk about is awesome because a new Avengers trailer is out and it looks, oh my god, words. And I kind of love the trailer because it's all like blah, 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 kind of interesting story plots, and then pew, 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 awesome. And ultimately, I am very excited, but you also have to wonder, is it going to be a good movie? Because there's a lot of big actors. Who is going to get the most face time? Does that mean everyone's going to be kind of watered down? I think most superhero movies, when they add a bunch of bad guys, because they're like, he can't just fight one, he's done that before. Sometimes it's the second one, sometimes it's the third one, Spider-Man 3, where everything gets a little like, what's happening? There hasn't been enough plot movement that I'm like, oh, I care about these people, drop the bitch. But yeah, I'll still probably throw my money at it, and we move on. And nation, from there we move on to today is Leap Day. I'd almost forgot 2012 was leap year until I looked at the calendar and I was like, February 29th, what's up, little buddy? I haven't seen you in 4 years. But then I got on the internet this morning and I saw on Twitter a lot of people were like, Leap Day, what's this about? And then I saw this video.
Like, I don't get it. Like, what freaking scientist came up with the freaking days of the month and was like, oh, let's add an extra day of the month.
And I was like, calm down, little girl who doesn't know how to Google things. I'm gonna oversimplify it for you. The math and or science of our Earth going around the sun is not constant. Even though our calendar says there are 365 days in the year, it is not true. It's probably closer to 365 days plus 5 to 6 hours. So ultimately, as a constant, 365 days is too few days and 366 days is too many days. So then mathematicians were like, well, if you say there's 365 and then every 4 years you fix it, it's perfect. But then every century your math is wrong again. And then the mathematicians were like, oh, if we take away a leap year every 100 years, we're good. Except for every 400 years. Damn it, I hate math. Should have been a sheep herder like my father said. And then they made the rule that every 400 years it would be a leap year again. That's why 1700, 1800, 1900 weren't leap years and 2000 was. And so now you know way too much shit about leap year. Congratulations. And from there we move on to super fantastic space news. And that's because some astronomers are saying there is a 1 in 8 chance of a catastrophic solar megastorm by the year 2020. They explained it saying, Earth's sun goes through an 11-year cycle of increased and decreased activity. During solar maximum, the sun has tons of sunspots. And from the situation, the sun flares out, throwing charged particles out into space. And though these solar flares happen often, the big ones are very, very infrequent. The biggest solar event ever seen was the Carrington event. And the Carrington event happened September 1st, 1859, when Richard Harrington was like, what is that? Oh, it is a solar flare moving at 4 million miles per hour towards Earth. He had a weird voice. And so what the people on Earth saw was this beautiful aurora. But while it was beautiful, it was also devastating, mainly to the telegraph stations, which caught on fire and their networks experiencing huge outages. But that was just 1859. Think of all the tech we have now. They're saying an event even remotely close to the Carrington event could cause trillions of dollars of damage. And who knows how much it would cost to rebuild and fix everything. So main point, you might die, or worse, not have internet. Think of how terrible that would be. Also, I wonder what would happen with planes. But hey, you know, 7 and 8 chance that it won't happen. But nation, you know what's damaging the earth more? The MTV train wreck Teen Mom has been renewed another season, and it turns out Snooki actually is pregnant. Officially, unofficially, reportedly, allegedly. And nation, the last thing I want to talk about today is Windows 8. When I went to CES and had a hands-on of Windows 8, a lot of people were like, how can I test it? And the only thing at the time was a developer preview, but today there is now a consumer preview. What that means is if you're on a PC or a Mac, you have to have Boot Camp or, you know, Parallels or something, you can download Windows 8, which, you know, it is a consumer preview, so it will have some bugs, but get a feel for it. I've mentioned I think this Metro look is a step into the future. One of the things they keep teasing are voice commands, so try it out and give it a few hours. At first, I think a lot of you are going to be like, I don't like this, but then slowly get into it. And at worst, it's really just making Apple step up their game. And ultimately, just very, very exciting. And nation, that's your question of the day today. Do you think that this new Windows 8 look and feel is the future, or just part of the future, or fucking throw in a fire? Let me know in the comments down below. And guys, that is brought us to the part of the show where I'll throw something at your face, and today it is a $100 Amazon gift card. Of course, to possibly win said thing, you just gotta leave a comment on this video, possibly about the question of the day. And of course, a big thank you, nation, for those of you that remember to clickety-clack the like button, favorite when you really like it, do whatever you do to spread some common sense. And of course, as always, my name is Philip DeFranco, and you've just been filled in. I love your faces, and I'll see you tomorrow. Sup, nation? Welcome to the Wednesday show. Of course, Matty B behind the camera, sucking dicks. It's weird. It's really weird how he's able to multitask.